Hey all, welcome back. So in today's session, we're going to talk a little bit more about the health benefits linked with regular sauna therapy and answer the question that a lot of people want to know. How long should you go in the sauna? How many sessions should you do per week? And what is the ideal temperature for those sauna sessions? So first, I just want to welcome you all back. We are in my backyard sauna that I built, and I shared with you exactly how to build this. We started sauna bathing back at our gym in 2013. We bought an infrared sauna in 2016. I sold that in 2020 to build this. And when I say this, we're talking a classic Finnish sauna with a wood-fired stove from Kumalampa. It gets up to about 230 degrees. Again, made everything in here. Bought the glass for the windows, made custom frames, made the door, made the benches. This is the only thing I didn't make, and I didn't make the thermometer. But anyway, let's get to your question, okay? Your question, a lot of people want to know. Okay, you have a sauna, you have access to a sauna. How do you really go about thinking about this? And I like to approach this, and I guess I frequently approach many things as like how I approach exercise is how I approach many things in life. You want to do a little warm up, right? Your first session is not going to be the hottest or the most intense. Your second session might be. And what do I mean by session? Well, for example, our sauna right now, it's about 80 degrees right now, okay? It's slowly warming up. I just started the fire and I wanted to make this video for you. So if it was at 220 degrees, my phone would not be able to work right now. And I couldn't talk, I'd be dripping sweat, right? So what I'm gonna do, and what our family usually does, especially on Sundays, is we'll come in here as it's warming up, right? So we slowly start to break the sweat, just like you slowly ease into your workout, or you slowly ease into your piano practice session, or whatever, your ski slopes, right? Whatever sport or thing that you do for your body, you don't just dive in head first. So the mistake that I've made over the years, thinking hotter is better, longer is better, is what I used to do is I used to just go right here in the hottest part of the sauna, 'cause it's right by the stove, pour water everywhere and just, and I could only stand for about 8 minutes. And I thought, man, maybe I'm just not strong enough. And I often felt stressed and a little bit more tired than normal. And now, and I've learned a lot of this from listening to people that have been doing this for decades. Glenn Arbaugh over at Sauna Times, he has a great podcast. If you're into sauna, you got to check out Glenn. He's a really cool guy. And by the way, his ebook was how I built this sauna that we're in, okay? So I've learned, through making stupid mistakes and through conversations that he shared on his podcast, your first session should be your longest and you should warm up to it, right? So as your sauna is warming up, you should warm up with your sauna. You might say, well, gosh, I don't have time. Well, here's what I do, okay? All the videos that I create for y'all, I'm reading papers in here. So I just come in here, my daughter, she's got all kinds of books and stuff like that. This is her little kid bench. She has a little slider here so she can, if it gets too hot for her, she has 2 vents and so on. But we'll warm up together in here. We'll play games, we'll tell jokes. And it's like 20, 30 minutes and we're relaxed, we're calm. Then I get the fire really rocking, okay? And that's my second set. So I'll do 20, 30 minutes and it's gonna be about, we'll come in here when it's about 120 degrees, which I know some of you might think, whoa, that's so hot. It's really not, it's not. Once you get used to this, it's not that hot. It's warm for sure, but you can stay in that temperature for a good 20, 30 minutes, right? We'll go out, we might drink some water, we'll go bounce on our trampoline, we'll go play with the dog, give it 5, 10 minutes, something like that. Then we come back in, and that's when I want to bring the heat, okay? Because we're warmed up, we've done this, and if I don't have enough time to do another, let's just say I have one, all I have is 30 minutes, that will be it, right? I no longer just go in here and go straight to 220 degrees because it's a major shock to the system, and it's another stress. So you want to slowly warm up to this. But my second round, what I'll do is I'll wear my wool hat. Let's grab that. Grab the sauna cap. Here's the room here. We've got some elk antlers for towels and whatnot. But so I'll wear this guy, okay? And I don't know exactly what this does, but I've heard that it helps prevent your hair from burning because it can get, especially up in these levels of your hair and eyes, it gets really, really hot. So I'll wear this wool hat and we're pouring water on the rocks, creating that steam, that aioli. And that, by the way, let me just pause here. That's what makes a wood burning stove sauna a little bit different from a dry sauna, like an infrared sauna from High Tech Health or some other company, is the moisture. Okay, so heat is heat is heat, right? However, when you add in that moisture, it's like bone penetrating. It's a little bit different. You sweat faster. It causes you to it warms up the air around you, and it just hits you like a ton of bricks. It really feels good. So that's, I think, the difference. Now, there's nothing wrong with an infrared sauna. There's nothing wrong with starting there and doing that if that's all the space you have. Just know thyself. I happen to love making fires, right? Some people just like to push a button and be done with it. I don't mind tinkering with the fire, chopping wood, collecting wood, calling my buddies if they have a fallen tree and saying, hey, I'll come out there with my chainsaw and cut it up. Like, that's just me. Like, I'm cool doing that. Some people want nothing to do with that. If that's you, just hit the button. There's nothing wrong with that. Get an electric stove or get an infrared sauna, okay? Now, your second round, as I mentioned, just to summarize, it might be 10, 12 minutes. If it's really hot, pushing 200, and so hot that when I pour water on the rocks, it like burns my nose. When I'm breathing, basically I breathe really slow, like so slow, or else it can be too hot. That session might be 6 minutes, and it changes on the day. If I'm a little bit overtrained, if I've been working out a lot, that session is closer to 5 minutes. If I'm feeling really good, that session is 12, right? And depending upon, and this is what I like to do, and why I like a wood stove, is I let the coals tell me, right? So if I had already done 2 sessions and I had that much more wood left, you know what I would do? I would do another round. That's just how it is, how I think about it, using nature, because I don't want to waste the fire, so to speak. So anyway, that's how I think about it. Now, as we finish off, let's talk about who the sauna is for. Okay. Well, if we think about who uses a sauna, it's usually people who want to feel good, who already are feeling good and they want to relax. These are, CEOs, executives, authors, creatives, and also athletes. Okay. So obviously it works for those people. Then it can work for people that maybe you're struggling with type 2 diabetes, or you have heart disease, you have high blood pressure, you have mild cognitive impairment or Alzheimer's disease, or you're susceptible to colds and flus. All of those things can be very helpful. In fact, I was just reading a paper here. I want to do a deeper video on this paper here. I'll read it to you. The cardiometabolic health benefits of sauna exposure in individuals with high stress occupations. So folks that work the shift shift workers, the night shift, policemen, firefighters, and also military personnel, those individuals have a higher occupational exposure to stress due to the circadian rhythm disruption and the stress of the occupation that can increase mortality from heart disease. And so it turns out that getting hot on purpose, it actually is a wonderful way to help to support the health of your microvasculature. And so by getting hot, what you're doing is you're essentially moving blood flow and dilating your blood vessels in the same way that you would normally do with exercise. So it complements exercise, and it has that sort of tonic effect on your cardiovascular system in the same way that exercise does without having to do exercise. So this doesn't supplant or, obviate the need to exercise. It's an additive benefit, okay? Now, along those lines, because what happens is when you get hot, you're diverting blood away from your core to the rest of the peripheral of your body, okay? So you don't want to have like a major meal and then go right in the sauna. I would say I've done that before. You just do what you do with life and time and everything like that. However, if you're diverting blood away from your core, you're not digesting your food. So give yourself a little bit of time if possible, before you go in a super hot sauna session. Let's see, what else? You also want to consider electrolytes, and that's why we formulated those electrolyte sticks, because you have your creatine, you have your taurine, you have your potassium, albion chelated minerals, really great, and real salt, because we found that just, regular sauna bathing, it is a stressor. It depletes your electrolytes. So you got to support your electrolytes. But more to come on this. There's some really interesting papers here. Jari Laakkonen has done a lot of research on heart disease prevention and even dementia and longitudinal studies. It's phenomenal. So be friends with someone who has a sauna. Start saving $20 a day, $10 a day, whatever. Put it in a bank, put it in a money market account, make it a goal, make it a vision board. My friends, this piece of land right here in my backyard, in 2018, maybe it's 2019, in the summer of 2019, I believe, I just put cinder blocks here. And I said, I am going to build a sauna of my dreams there. I didn't have the money. I had credit card debt. I had all this crap, right? And I just said, I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do it, And 3 years later, I did it, right? So you can do it too. There's nothing special about this. So it's starting to get hot, as you might be able to tell. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. Let's check in on the fire here again. Kuma Lampa, they make this all American steel, hand built by a 3rd generation Finnish family in Tower, Minnesota. So this sucker gets hot. Anyway, friends, have a great week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you all soon.